I want to share some testimonies with you tonight, and I'm going to be preaching from three main testimonies. And at the end, I'm going to create a space for us just to respond to Jesus. See, and a couple of years ago, I went and did my harvest school in Pemba, Mozambique under Heidi Baker and Roland Baker. And there was this moment in our school where there was a roar of our yes to Jesus. Despite the cost, at any price, we're going to say yes to the Lord. Heidi Baker says, we don't believe in burn out. We only believe in burning up for Jesus. You know, God, we're the ones that provide the sacrifice, and He is the one that provides the fire. And it's up to the priests to maintain the fire. I don't know about you. I've read Hebrews. I can see a whole bunch of priests in the room. And it's our job to maintain the fire of revival inside of us. It's an upside down kind of kingdom. You got to go down to go up. If you want to see revival on the outside, let revival start here. Growing up, my dad's an amazing pastor and evangelist, and in his church, he always made this dad joke. He always says, where does Jesus live? Cooey. And he would go like this. No jokes, Dad, you did this in church. I promise you. It is so funny. He would open up his arms and he'd go like, in between two smelly armpits. And every single time I think of it, I think of that joke. I mean, you taught me so many things, but if that's the only thing that I remember, sometimes we're just too serious, guys. I don't know about you, but there's one commandment. Oh, there's one thing that is not a choice. It's actually a commandment. It is to be serious. Oh, no, that's not what it says. Wait, what is it again? Oh, God commands us to be. You don't have a choice. You have to be joyful. It's a commandment. In the highs and the lows, one thing remains the same. The joy of the Lord is my strength. Not one high, yeah, that was amazing, epic. And then you go home. And all of a sudden that facade comes off. And you're depressed. I love revival. I want a revival. My country, our country needs revival. More than ever, we need revival in the world. So let it start here, Jesus. Okay, I'm going to share a quick testimony if I haven't already. We started a missions. Oh, by the way, Chris Overstreet sends his love. He loves you guys so much. He wishes he could be here. He's praying for us, praying for you, praying for what God is doing in you and through you here, Salt Church. God's got an amazing plan for your life. So he sends his love. Cannot move on before telling you guys that. But yes, we started a missions base in East London, South Africa. And y'all know where East London is? It's not PE, okay? It's quite far away from Port Elizabeth. Wait, it's not called that. Gqeberha. It's far away from Gqeberha. Anyway, we started a mission space on a rubbish dump site, a garbage dump site. What do you call it in Africa? Garbage or rubbish? Rubbish. A rubbish dump site. We started one there. My wife and I went to a healing rooms that is based on the rubbish dump. We walked in, and as soon as we walked in, God commissioned both of us to be missionaries and start a mission space on a rubbish dump. So there we are in the middle of the trash. The methane gases in the trash in summer would explode, and then there'll be huge fires that smoke the whole city out. The city hated our community as they scrummaged through the trash, trying to find food to feed themselves. The local prison, when they were overflowing, they would come in and dump all the excess prisoners off. And once a day, at random times, this bakkie would roll on up and lay on the yes, like it, I have become American. This bakkie would ride in and lay on, honk his hooter. Horn, what is it? Anyway, he would sit on the horn and make a loud noise. And then all of a sudden, out of all of these little gullies would run all these people. And I would say, like, what's going on? And they're like, yeah, those are all the prisoners. And I realized that the mothers and the fathers of my children, they are prisoners. Broken, drug addicts, gangsters. That's where God called us. We started a soup kitchen, fed 300 people a day, and ended malnutrition in our village, guys. That's a lot of hard work. You miss a week and you're back to 3 months behind. Anyway, we started there, and the one day during soup kitchen, I'm there, and it was my rule. When I'm there, I'm handing out soup. Like, I want to see my people's faces. And I'm there dishing up soup. I'm like, Molo Buti Kunjani, and asking them how their family's doing, and Yonken, Tu, Ayaz, Uyeso Funipeli, Sewen, and just giving out the soup. And then all of a sudden, this lady comes at the end of soup kitchen when there's no more soup left. She is as drunk as a skunk. Like, she stank. That's how bad she was drunk. It was bad. That macheo was bad on her. It was stinky. No jokes. And she was angry because there was no more soup left for her. So bad that she was swearing and cussing at my staff. And if you treat my staff bad, you're treating me bad. So there I am, the justice of God in hand. And I'm like, I am going to command this demon to go come out now. And then Gamalak will go, yes. And I'm going, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm going full force. I'm going to karabashanda those demons. Angry. God, this is not right. How can this spirit prevail over my community's life? Get to her. I don't know who this lady is. I've never seen her in my life before. She's swearing while I'm trying to talk to her. Totally talking to a demon. And I'm like, help. That's all I said. Sometimes your best prayer is, Jesus, help. All of a sudden, she's still swearing at my staff members. She looks at me, and without stopping the cuss words flowing like a river, she proceeds to undo the towel. We did not notice. She had a 3-month-old baby on her back. It was so small. She takes the baby off, and she looks at me, and she says, I cannot do this anymore. I came to you to give you my child. Gives us her 3-month-old baby and leaves. Now, I don't know about you, but if somebody gives you a baby, what do you do? Reality just hit. All of a sudden, all of my agenda for that day were gone. I had plans. They were good plans. We had a huge outreach planned. I had people relying on me. But all of a sudden, with the baby in my hand, I was like, what do I do now? The baby sees my white face and starts screaming with fear. I'm not joking. Like this is a reality. It's my reality. Screaming with fear. Then we also realize that the baby has not been changed in hours because the mother was so drunk. Who knows the last time that baby had a bath? Then we also realized that the mother hasn't fed that child. And she was starving. And she started to cry. So I took her into the baby center where we had at that time like 15 babies, and we have all the supplies, but we have enough supplies for babies that are 6 months and older, not younger. We don't have any formula for her. And at the sound of that baby's voice, every single missionary and teacher and staff member, whether they were single, young, old, we knew what to do. Bam, just straight into gear. Like somebody just grabbed my keys, jumps in the car, grabs the wallet, they take in the bank card, they're going. Everyone just knows where to go. They're buying formula, the doctor's involved, doing measurement. This child is screaming. No one can console this child. The staff are like, I don't want to touch that baby. That woman was mean to us. So I take that little baby and I put her on my back, wrap her tight, and I start singing, "Tu tu baba tu tu," and I just start moving, and instantly she stops. And for the first time in about an hour or two, there was peace. Now you see in Isaiah 66, verse 13, it says, "As a mother tenderly comforts her child when it cries, so will I tenderly comfort you." There is a biological thing that happens inside of us when we hear the sound of a child crying. Men, it affects men differently. Women, it affects women differently too. Something shifts and we know instantly this child is hungry and it needs to be fed. We just know. No one needs to explain it. No one needs to tell anyone. When a child cries, there's 3 reasons. Number 1, stinky diaper. Number 2, it's got a burp. Number 3, it's hungry. And good luck trying to figure it out, all those that are pregnant. It's a conundrum sometimes. But you get into the rhythm, it gets easier, I promise you. I learned something that day. That hunger, when we cry out to God in hunger, God stops all of heaven and says, "I will meet their need." It's biblical. It's what it says there. We prayed so hard. God, we need justice. But God, you desire mercy over justice. So Jesus, right now, we started praying on contending. The baby was fed. We gave the baby a wash. It didn't cry anymore. It felt loved. But we knew that something had to change. What do? Social workers, we don't even know who the mother is. This child just gave. Like, what do we do, guys? I don't have the answer for this, except for Jesus. I don't have the solution. Do I take the child home? I have 2 children under the age of 3 at the time. That's difficult. Do I put my wife in that position without talking to her? No, that's the answer, men. I've done it before. I brought a baby home. It was not a good idea. I hope you didn't get that photo. It looked weird. Something needed to shift, so we prayed. By the end of the day, this happened at about 12 o'clock. By 4 o'clock that day, the mother of that baby came knocking at our clinic door, weeping her eyes out. She steps in and she says, "As soon as I left my baby with you, I became sober. And I had an encounter with Jesus. I want to change." And we restored that situation. The mother got delivered, healed, set free. There's something about hunger. I learned something that day. See, hunger is a gift. I cannot say I'm hungry for God unless God puts that hunger in our hearts. And He puts it there as a guarantee that He will meet the very thing that you're hungering for. Does this make sense? What are you hungry for? What are you hungering after? I can tell you right now, like my friends, whatever captures our attention, we are hungering for. Like, what are you compromising with? I can tell you my compromise. I will not compromise with anything in my life unless Jesus is the center. That's my compromise. Does this make sense? I made a little bit of a conundrum of a brain twister there. I'm not satisfied unless I have Jesus. This morning, my quiet time was interrupted. Instead of reading my next Bible verse, which is in Romans, and I cannot wait to get there, Jesus, got stuck on Romans 6 for the last 3 weeks. So good. This morning I woke up and I said, Jesus. And His presence just overwhelmed me. My Jesus. Jesus. Do you remember the last time that you said his name and you just get so overwhelmed? I don't seek his hand. I don't seek the miracles. I seek Jesus. Do you remember that? Wow. And in Stony Drift, in our base, we went and visit. I brought the team there. It was the first time I had seen them in a long time. And I was just so overwhelmed when I saw the faces of my children in my community, and we just wept as we saw each other with such glee and happiness and joy. We were reconnected, and we fed them amazing isinyama meals. It was delicious. And I had a vision in South Africa of buying blankets for every single one of our community members. And there's like 360 people in the community at the moment, with like 70-something plus children, somewhere around there. It was a little bit confusing, but anyway, we worked it out. And I remember on the last day that we were in East London, we had to go buy gifts for the woman stuck in human trafficking, the outreach that we were about to do. And I was going there to buy blankets. I didn't have any money to buy blankets. Luto. Nothing. No money to buy blankets. I had petitioned and asked and approached people. I was like, $800, that's all I need, and I'll be able to buy enough blankets for everyone in my community. And it didn't work, but I mean, this mission trip cost a lot of money, so I'm okay, Lord, I'll be all right. I thought you gave me the vision, but I'm still learning to hear from you. And we were walking around the shop, and I walk into the shop, and they show me this blanket that we could kind of scrape money together to afford enough, maybe half of the amount. And it was a small blanket. And I was like, about to say, yes, let's do it. And I was like, no, show me your best blanket. And we walk up to this one blanket, and hey guys, I touched it. And I just started to weep. I was like, God, I want this. This is what I want. Within like a half an hour of us 6 men standing around trying to figure out, doing Rahab's Hope outreaches, we taking like, how many nail polishes? 60 something, like literally all the nail polishes. We just took them, and where's your sanitary pads? A bunch of 6 men running around wondering where the sanitary pads are. Lots of fun. Everyone's like, anyway, by the end of that time, God had provided enough money for us to buy 360 of the best blankets. That is a lot of money. I think it was like 24,000 rand or something like that. I can't remember. But we went there with 360 blankets to the village. We rock up in like big bags, guys, like just pulling it. Like Santa Claus had nothing on us. Anyway, he still doesn't. Anyway, and we're standing there. We gave out the food, and now it's time to hand out the blankets. And like we giving it out, and all of a sudden the whole village is so excited about these blankets. They're more excited about the blanket than they were about the food. They were so excited, like they pushed us to the point where we couldn't even move. They're just grabbing and pulling all these blankets. And us 6 are like, organized chaos. This is not working. Just laughing, just looking at each other. Like, what's going on? And we were just laughing. And I want to share with you guys the lesson that I learned from the poor. In Matthew 5, verse 3, it says, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." We need a revival. We need the kingdom of God to advance. Take back the ground, take back the politics, take back the medical industry, take back the corruption. And I think there's a lesson that we can learn from the poor tonight. Can we do that? Blessed are the poor in spirit. That's always really confused me. Blessed are the poor. Just doesn't line up. Blessed are poor. I think poverty is not blessed. Jesus, what are you trying to say? What's the mystery here? And I think one of the best examples or explanations that I've heard about the word poor is confessing your spiritual bankruptcy. You see, I am in debt. I'm in a spiritual debt to God. I choose to stay in this position because as soon as I start figuring it out, I'm no longer indebted to Him. I forget that I need Him. I sink back into complacency and comfortability, and I forget the point that hunger is the door to more. And I'm satisfied with just my bubble. When God says, go and do greater things, have you walked on water yet? Jesus says, go do greater things than He has even done. Greater things. That's the standard that He has placed on our lives. I want to see the dead raised. I want to see blind eyes open. I want to see whole communities and cities transformed for the glory of God. We hear stories of it happening in old, and I'm not satisfied. I need more. I need more. Now, there's a difference between striving and sonship. We all know that. I'm speaking to the sons and daughters of God right now. You know what I mean? I don't want to strive. Striving is illegal. But I want to contend. I want to press in. And tonight there's this availability for us. And I want to transition. I don't know how much time there is, but there's an availability tonight for us to respond to God with hunger. You have seen God do amazing things this week. It sounds like revival to me, through you, through your church, over the city of Durban. You've seen God do crazy things. I think the testimonies are nuts. So many salvations, so many healings, and Gen Z's waking up. Are you becoming complacent, or is there more? It isn't when we have nothing that we need to remain hungry for God. It's actually in the place of we have the fullness, but there is still so much more. I'm not going to settle with yesterday's manner when there's a revival that is waiting for us, and it's time for us to go back and start collecting the more of the Lord.